In the days of old, the sorcerers of Riverlong cured the sick and healed the wounded through a great power called Source. But a terrible darkness invaded the land, and Source was forever tainted. The sorcerers who once healed now only destroy, and madness has overtaken them. A few brave Source hunters are all that stand between Riverlon and the dark power that threatens to destroy it. Wherever Source appears, hunters follow.
Rise and shine, Master Source Hunters. The captain wants you up on deck. Hear them gulls? Means we're close to shore. I don't envy you going there, Master Source Hunters. City's full of undead, hungry enough for blood. But you're supposed to investigate that murder, ain't you? They say it's Source that did the Counselor in. Source in a city like Cyseal, nowhere safe anymore. Here they are, Captain Sir.
God's blessings on you, hunters. You'll be happy to hear we've reached Cyseal. But there's trouble offshore, so we'll have to sail in carefully. Here, have a look. Those are orc ships, and they're blocking our passage. We'll get you as close to the city as we can, and drop you off in the beach. Be wary now. Orcs are on the attack. Undead have closed every route out, and there's a sorcerer on the loose. If we're to get justice for the Counselor, you'll have to keep your wits about you. May the luck of the gods be with you both, Source Hunters.
go home. If I didn't know there were orc ships raiding to the west, I'd mistake this for a placid beach.
At least the orcs make a bit of noise when they attack. It's dark-dealing sorcerers that'll strike with neither warning nor mercy.
Is that a corpse? What's it doing here alone?
What? Did you expect it to have an entourage? Can you believe this? The man jumped off a cliff at the behest of some statues, of all things.
Pure madness. How could someone be so utterly naive?
Rivellon is no stranger to the supernatural. He might well have flown into the sunset and looked down at us cynics laughing.
Source hunters! How did they find us?
Take the stone to the temple. These whelps will be easy to crush.
As you say, Madam Conduit.
Arise, fair dead! Seize upon our enemies!
Shadows hide your loyal servant. Your death is at hand! Ricochet! Their leader said something about escaping with a stone. Stolen from this dungeon, I imagine.
Those thieves were more than petty criminals. Their leader gave life to the dead. What stone could...
We can't well turn away from such an odious show of source. Let's investigate the tomb and see what answers it might reveal.
Until we're briefed.
Has anyone ever told you you're as pretty as a starstone? I may not be able to see past your ankles, but I'm sure of it.
Careful! There's a mine in the middle of our path.
Someone must have an interest in protecting whatever's kept here.
How nice to meet your acquaintance. We rats may be small, but that makes it all the easier to keep our ears to the ground. Friendly-wise, I'd say we rodents are the best friends an adventurer can make.
I've always heard there's typically more to a king's tomb than meets the eye.
It could be a myth, or it could be our lucky day.
How nice to meet your acquaintance. We rats...
This seems to be broken. Well, what's this I've spotted? They made short work of that door, but I don't imagine our weapons would survive such use for long. I see a trap nearby.
No evading my blazing fury! I've spotted something. I've spotted something interesting. A strange sort of pit. There must be a way to disarm it. I think I hear voices downstairs.
The last thing we need is to surprise another angry summoner.
My robes are soaked! You'd better hope there's no hint of a flame in this place! Oh, I wouldn't worry about that. No one can get in here but us and the boss. You don't know that! Those cultists have been poking about for days!
I sense enemies nearby.
This seems to be broken. This seems to be broken.
A living rat dares disturb the slumber of the dead? A thieving fool insults the sanctity of the grave. The bloodstone defiler, where is it? In life, I toiled to care for these holy grounds. In death, I suppose you only crept among these sacred tombs for leisure. I suppose you had no lust for the treasure of the dead. Strange indeed. Robed indeed. Your tricks run if you like, defiler. Whichever way you take leads.
Death is its own deliverance!
Death never dies, fool. Death in 1,000 forms rules all.
The time of your death is at hand! Meet your demise!
Here lies Master Ragequin's first apprentice, killed by a falling corpse.
This seems to be broken.
Here lies Master Ragequin's second apprentice, killed by dying.
Single malt stumblers. You may have
shell's lament, yield me unto the water. Look, look! A wanderer comes my way, walking the sands upon which this poor shell must suffer. Call me Ishmael, son of the sea, an outcast upon these wretched shores. An exiled shell, doomed to live under a canopy of arid sky, not his native, tender water. Of course I can talk, don't be silly. There's more tongue to me than heart. Indeed, the surprise should be mine, for I still remember the days when your kind swung from branches and plucked the vermin out of their neighbor's fur. Time is an indulgent mistress to one who spends happy hours as she passes. But when you're... Oh, I remember ancient times, for I have lain here since, and all this I have seen. My fate is a cruel one, I assure you. How many snot-noses have held me up against their dirty lips? Of course they can hear her, the brats. We are on the very edge of the great aquatic mother, whose embrace I so desperately... Yes, yes, I, King of Pearls, ache to repose anew on his coral throne. Hurl me toward the water. Swing me as far as your arm's strength gives peace. And treasure long sunk I will... What do you say, kind knight? Will you return the...
King of Pearls, you say? Sounds lucrative.
Don't be so selfish. For the sea he longs, so to the sea we should return him.
But he called himself the King of Pearls. Worth, I'm sure.
Someone's sinking to the bottom of the sea here today, and if it's not him, it's you.
Very well. Have it your way.
Liberator, kind benefactor, bless me the might. The sea, I have returned, where every wave feels like a mermaid's kiss. May the bounty of the deep be yours, along with my eternal gratitude.
hold it right there, orc scum!
Calm down, Junius. Does it look like what...
Just hold your tongue, will you, Bibius? Can't be too careful. We're legionnaires, of course.
Liberators of liquor.
Shh! Just pipe down, will you, Bibius? Aye, a noble word for watchdog, that. For that is what we do.
Best way to calm a wily dog is to neuter it. Ha! Spay for pay. Legion's motto.
Just put a sock in it, will you, Bibius?
Ever kept the watch? Stood on the lookout for hours on end, bored stiff. Boredom's a demon buddy, and booze is the demon hunter. There. I do declare it's time for this hunter. What do you want to know? So, it's Jake you're looking...
Can't tell you much more, except that I heard he was found face down in a puddle of blood, being used as a water fountain by his own pet mongrel.
They say 'twas his wife that did it, and I'd bet a bottle of brandy they're right. A devilish...
As if that proves anything! Bunch of barbaric bastards, a lot of them! They'll kill your spouse and eat your children. We've been putting up a fight against them, to be sure, but they have the strength of an ox in every single one of their fingers. Takes an army to dress down a dozen.
Well, we did bring a legion.
Just bite your lip, will you, Bibius?
Cyseal, yes. Where fishermen come to live and street dogs come to die. Now, which of the two would you be, then?
Just cut the cackle, will you, Bibius? Now then, stranger, if it's the city of Cyseal you're looking for, you're heading in the right direction. Even though most folks are trying to escape rather than reach the damn place these days. Not that I can blame them. This place is cursed, I tell you.
So, you're source hunters, are you? And how are we supposed to verify that's true? We can't read, my friend. So for all we know...
You know what? We'll take you two to the wizard. I know he reads. He has books large as a house, that one. Yeah, he'll squeeze the truth out of you, one way or another.
I don't need an escort, especially not a drunken one. Back off or face me.
Are you mad? You kill legionnaires? Let's just go to the wizard peacefully.
Pick their side if that's your want. I'll just have to teach the three of you a lesson.
Stand down, unless you want me to stand by and let them give you a good thrashing.
Very well. Have it your way.
Captain, come along. We're not far from the city.
One bolt is never enough.
Did you see that? Those orcs had a human commander.
Who was that joker leading
How very
those
curious.
orcs? Damn traitor.
And how very
Where are
disquieting.
Tibius and Junius? Didn't they hear the fight?
Taken before his time. Far before his time.
Filthy beasts! I'll kill the last one of you!
One day, comrade, vengeance will be ours.
What's all this ruckus? Sounded worse than a dozen Tom... Ah, but I see we've suffered another orc landing. And judging by the relative ease with which it was dispatched, I can only come to one conclusion. You're as welcome as a glass of cooled milk on a hot day, my friend. I'm Ahu. So you were, and so you weren't. There we are. Meet my other half, Hunter. Ha ha! No need to look so flabbergasted. I may... So, now that the cat is out of the bag, let us turn to the... It's hard to put my finger on it, but I can feel in my very whiskers that sorcery was at play. Visit the scene of the crime, and I'd bet sardines for salad you'll say the same. Captain Aureus, though, the local commander of the Legion, insists I'm seeing ghosts. I insist he's blind to all but the undead. Jake was murdered in a downstairs room of the King Crab Inn, up in Cyseal proper. The Legion keeps it under lock and key, though, so you'll need Aureus's permission should you want to have a peek. So there are, or rather, there is. Popular opinion has it his wife did the deed, but to be frank, I have my doubts. She seems a likely candidate, to be sure, but that would make her a sorceress. Esmeralda knows how to charm, yes, but I just don't see her magic extend beyond a frolicsome look and wink.
From our faces. Come now, enough doom and gloom. Cast the gaze you sing upon my fair fanged thing.
Still, don't simply take my word for it, Hunter. It may be well worth your while to cross-examine her yourself. A human, you say? Truly? But that... And yet, I have heard rumors about a sect of sorts. A shadowy set of worshippers that associate even with orcs. I don't quite know what to make of this news. Ah, the undead. They've been clawing their way out of the ground for 2 years now. And for 2 years the Legion did a good job keeping them at bay. But I think it's fair to say that without my magic infused... Someone is responsible for the outbreak. Necromancers are at work, but who are they and where do they hide? Alas, unfortunately, that is absolutely correct. The Orc siege is yet another hairball stuck in this city's already choking throat, and it shows no signs of abating. We've cordoned off the western beach where most Orc activity has been reported. For the 9 lives of me, I can't seem to figure what they're doing here. There's nothing of interest along the waterfront, except for a set of caves with an unfavorable reputation. Maybe they're after some pirate's treasure, the fools. Such magic is a gift, Hunter. To tread upon the realm of instinct. Even articulate speech, perhaps humanity's greatest asset, cannot give expression to something so inextricably innate. To be out in the night, to stalk on silent paws and hunt with only the moon. But of course it's handy to speak in more than meows. And I'm glad we've met, Source Hunter. And I'm certain we have a lot more to talk about. Feel free to visit me once you're there, just take the stairs. But do pay a visit to Aureus first. He may bark like a beagle. And with that, I bid you adieu, Hunter. Adieu and good luck.
Sects, undead, orcs. Looks like we have our work cut out for us.
At least we won't be bored. How about we go see that Aureus chap Ahu mentioned?
The ship's blazing ever higher.
Come on, men. Pull your backs into it.
We need more help! She's lost!
Are these the biggest buckets we've got?
We mustn't let the flames spread to the harbour!
Rain down! Really? The greatest warriors in Riverlong can't cross a rope?
Our home, our livelihood, all sunk in a matter of minutes while we could do naught but look on. These bleeding orcs, I can't keep off this place for the life of them. They came in here slinging fireballs and swinging swords. Wasn't a thing we could do to defend ourselves.
Oh, and don't forget the time he got caught passing a love note to the Lizard Councillor's wife.
Is that why we never sail to Ythel anymore? That was a right stunning show of magic you pulled, it was. Wish you'd been around when our own barge went down in flame. With our ship gone, nothing for it but to get a job. Slim pickings around here, that's for sure. Maybe, well...
You're right.
Ha! Knowing him, he drove it straight to the pub and back.
Oh, and don't forget the time he got caught passing a love note.
Saved that ship all by your lonesome. Quite the feat. If I had the magic touch about, I thought the old gal's fate was sealed when the orc shaman set his fiery gaze on her sails. Though you managed to rescue her from a watery grave. Closest thing to a miracle I've ever seen.
Sauce? Here in Cyseal? Ah, of all the cursed hunks of rock to land on, Conrad chooses this one. A ship's got a soul too, you know. You did a mighty fine thing saving that barge. For those of us raised in crews in madness. Thought we were done with those swampy uglies a fortnight ago. Note, though, that none of them dared to come...
Psst. Ever hear about the time the captain took the Duchess of Feddle's carriage for a joyride?
Ha! Knowing him, he drove it
Ahoy,
straight to the
sailor! How you enjoy it? Name's Conrad. Cargo trader, sea captain, an expert in all things nautical. Folks across Andervale, those orcs must be out of their barbarous minds launching an attack on a city where a great wizard resides. I'll tell you, the only time I'd consider waging a suicide campaign like that.
500 yards of my loving nature.
Psst. Ever hear about the time the captain took the Duchess of Feddle's carriage for a joyride?
Ha! Knowing him, he drove it straight to the pub and back.
Mate, he says. We are colleagues, nothing more.
Come now, it's just a turn of phrase.
Will you please turn your phrases elsewhere?
This place reeks of orc stench.
Report!
Nothing to
Keep
report.
your pleasantries to yourself. What are you doing inside this warehouse, snooping around? If it's conversation you're looking for, I'd recommend my comrade Florius. As for myself, my job is to protect this warehouse, not chit-chat with intruders. That idiot man-child would sooner spend an hour chatting up a thief than a minute arresting him. I only hope he gets transferred out of this warehouse and straight to the... Even thinking of him turns one into a gabbing hen. Please, leave me...
Well, a source hunter. A very hearty welcome to our humble warehouse. Have a look around. And don't mind if I pick your brain about the scoop around Undervale. I'm behind on my current affairs.
Reeks of orc stench.
I tell you, this gig sure beats getting my toes bitten off by zombies out in the field. We warehouse guards don't have to do much apart from stroll the perimeter a few times an hour. And, of course, every now and again, some friendly folks, like yourself, will wander through here. And nothing beats a pleasant conversation, though my comrade Horatius has quite different opinions on that. Have you talked to him? Thinks every man, woman and child who steps foot in this place wants to rob it blind. If I so much as greet a townsperson with a hello instead of a state your purpose, he starts frothing on and on about guardly duty and security breaches.
This place reeks of orc stench. One day, Moira. One day you'll show 'em all.
This Jake business is quite the scandal, no? I myself suspect his wife, Esmeralda, and the butcher seconds that, let me tell you. Then again, and you didn't hear this from me, he's going through quite the nasty divorce himself. And there's his children too. But I imagine his youngest, Kimberly, won't mind. Never did get on well with her mother ever since the incident. Oh, it's an unparalleled pleasure having a fresh air around here. That fusspot said what? Well, old loose lips will let that lowly back. So, something you'd like to say to my face?
I haven't a thing to say to you. I'm on duty.
One day,
Duty
Moira.
indeed.
One day you'll
Put
show
your
'em
fists.
all.
Are you mad? We're guards, not drunks on the streets.
Enough! What is this barbarism? Back to your post at once!
Sir, this is an important matter. A matter of honor.
Such matters are to be settled on your own time. Understood?
Understood, sir.
Such bickering is all that thieves need to sneak by unnoticed.
It won't happen again, sir.
It better damn well not.
Guard duty's not so bad, eh?
Would be quite a bit better if I could do it in...
That old spoilsport Horatius can gripe all he wants. I won't let him affect my disposition, nope.
You've caused enough distractions, I think.
This place reeks of orc stench.
Like bringing a wolf to a hen house.
Nonsense. Listen. She's purring, the darling.
What fool would trust a 2-bit love potion out of a back-page circular from youthful gore? Ah, who better than a proven orc crusher to convince my dumbbell of a friend here that orc...
Enough of that. I know how dangerous...
Maybe before the great orc raid we had time to indulge Ninius's idiotic obsessions. But now we're needed at our posts. I can hardly believe I've been wasting time protecting an orc when I should be running them through.
Excuse my friend's violent outbursts. He hasn't enjoyed a woman's touch in quite some time now. It makes him...
Your woman's touch is less of a loving caress and more of a claw shanked brutally through the throat. I'll take my chances as a bachelor.
My friend here and I were patrolling outside the city walls, when who did I see creeping along the shore but this lovely orcish lady? For a brief second, as long as... Perhaps confused by the butterflies in her stomach, she sprang up and began running. A vial of love potion shattered over her head, and when she turned to face me, I'm sure she must have been compelled to join the Orcish army under some kind of duress.
Ha! I can assure you there wasn't a hint of sweetness in those murderous eyes when she lunged at my throat. She may be confined here for...
Ah, I've always had an amateur interest in all things alchemical. When I read in an esteemed periodical from the Wizards of Youthful Gore about an amazing... I sent away for the world-famous love potion, available for a limited time only, and...
You see what a fool my friend has been, spending all his cash on snake oil and bringing a temporarily...
What kind of monster would lie in a published advertisement? I'm sure the effects of the potion will be everlasting, as printed.
Hello again. As you can see, I'm still trying to convince you, see? He'd believe it was noon at midnight if he read it on a printed pamphlet. Please tell me you can reason with him.
She's got to be put down. If this love potion is as...
What's the point in causing more pain in this beleaguered city? Question her and see what comes of it.
If you are the only thing that's
first, and I don't take kindly to murderers.
No! We'll do as I say.
Glad to hear I'm not the only one with common sense around here.
No! She's harmless! Please! You bastard!
One day, Moira.
You had no right!
One day you'll show
No
them
right
all.
to protect not only you from your own stupidity, but myself and the citizens of Cyseal as well.
It's you we need protection from, murderer. Fortunately, the Wizards of Youthful Gore make a revenge elixir that will show you what's what.
Go ahead and throw your sugar water on me if you like. Your foolishness is no longer my problem. Thank you, stranger. If you ever need help, I'll do my best to repay you.
Thank you for talking some sense into that knucklehead. That she-beast would have been the death of us.
Salutations! Source hunters, I see. I'm Sergeant Courteous. Proud Courteous is my name. The Legion is my calling. This is a storing house for Legion supplies. Perhaps the most important building in the realm.
From the very start.
Let's see. Halibut.
Say, no one's around. You wouldn't raise a fuss if I, borrowed one of these fish, would you?
No better solution to the zombie
Borrow,
problem.
indeed. I'll sooner meet a cat wizard than see that merchant repaid.
Waston! Aaron has as many friends as the man with many cheeses.
Come now, I'll be good for it, I swear!
Come on, you chickens!
Oh, my story's tired by now. I was a I never would have dreamt of resorting to petty theft during better times. But what choice have I got now? So what do you think? Should I snag a fish?
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Aim straight, aim true. Arrows by the dozens.
Everyone needs a hand now and then. Take the fish.
Sure, everyone needs a hand.
Neither I nor my fists would take kindly to someone who'd watch a man starve over a principle.
Aim straight, aim true. Arrows by the dozens. Watch the undead quiver in their mouldy boots.
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes. Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Fresh haddock. Perfect for a fry-up.
Aim straight, aim true. Arrows by the dozens.
Fresh haddock. Perfect for a fry-up.
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Aim straight, aim true. Arrows by the dozens.
If you encourage thievery, I'll have to treat you as I would any common criminal.
No better solution to the zombie problem than a set of silver arrows.
Heavenly herring, delicious dogfish, yours for a scrap of gold each.
Aim straight, aim true. Arrows by the dozens.
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
All right, we'll do it your...
I suppose you've got a point. Another day, another rumbling bed. A hungry man, you know.
Heavenly herring, delicious dogfish, yours for a scrap of gold each.
Watch the undead quiver in their mouldy boots.
Red and orange, yellow and green, the finest veggies Cyseal's ever seen.
Cruel. 1 coin or 2, noble. May the soul of Astarte smile upon you, kind stranger. Thank you, kind one. Oh, I am a happy man, and certainly a humble... a fool once was I, and ever see... I'd heard they were not to be trusted, that they gave fool... They told me that I would find fame and renown if I... Fire, the most thorough cleanser, was my method. But as my...
So, those statues told him he'd have to renounce his earthly possessions to become a spiritual leader, did they?
Absurd. Since when is...
Some of the richest people in the world are also some of the most miserable. Gold can...
cruel fortune.
Sorry, sir.
You think that's funny, Private?
You don't think it's infected, do you?
Come on now, I pulled her off you before she could do any real damage.
Any real damage? Are you joking? I've been mauled. I'll be disfigured for life.
Come on with the dramatics. It's not as bad as all that.
The face, Furious. She bit me in the face.
Look on the bright side. Everyone knows the ugly soldiers are the most ferocious.
Ugly'll be the least of it. Hey, who's that then? Come on, stand where my good eye can see you.
Easy, Tull. That's the source hunter you're talking to.
She may have the look of a woman if you squint hard enough, but she's no more than a wild animal. We got reports of a strange-looking outsider skulking through the town with her bow drawn. I found her crouched behind a tree, taking aim at a fat old rat trotting along the city. I tapped her on the shoulder to see what was what, and the beast startled like a wild cat and lunged right at...
Bit Talia right in the face, she did. It wasn't...
Enjoy it while you can, Ver. There's not another legionnaire...
Well, that's to be decided. She doesn't seem to be sick, despite Tully's moaning. We...
Perhaps it'd be worth it.
After all, a fearless hunter might prove quite...
Well, that's a relief, ain't it?
Heed me, Source Hunter. She's not good for any...
Private?
Sir, no, sir.
Source Hunter. I have heard tales both grand and terrible about the world of humans. I myself was caged one moment and freed the next by our kind. In Home Forest, every creature easily, badgers fear little. But amongst men, there are no guarantees.
That was sloppier than Cysealian stew. Again! Attention! About face!
It is strange to stand with one foot in the forest and the other. Perhaps in time I will come to know my own kind as you have.
Stew. Again! Those who can embarrass a bridge troll get to shining recruits.
Sorry, sir.
Those who can embarrass a bridge troll get to shining recruits.
Sorry, sir.
You think that's funny, Private?
Sir, no, sir.
Attention! About face! You
the barracks! March! Recruits!
That was sloppier than Cysealian stew.
Again! Attention! About face! To the barracks! March! Recruits!
That was sloppier than Cysealian stew.
Again! Attention! About face! To the barracks! March! Recruits!
That was sloppier than Cysealian stew.
Again!
What have we here, then? A so-called source hunter, eh? Well, look, do what you must in Cyseal, but don't make waves and don't interfere with the Legion's affairs. You hear? I'm Captain Aureus, if you must know, leader of the Legion in Cyseal. By which I mean I have the enviable task of commanding a battalion of walking dead. For I fear it may well be but a matter of time before the undead undo all my soldiers and turn them into drivelling hordes of their own misshapen number. Gods above! Some politician snuffs it and everyone's in an uproar. Ridiculous! I told that wizard brat of an Ahu not to bother, but he just had to send for source hunters, didn't he? Bloody magicians. They see a pigeon poop and think sorcery's afoot. Nevertheless, I want to be kept in the loop. Understand? I am in command of this town, not Mayor Cyseal, not Ahu, and definitely not some hotshot source hunter. The scene of the crime is over at the King Crab Inn. You can tell the guard you have my permission to enter. Esmeralda is Jake's wife. Well, widow. Everyone in town, down to the crabs on the beach, is convinced she killed him. Now, the girl has the reputation... What? You're going to stand there and claim with a straight face your order never wrong... If you must. Bravo! Figured that one out, did you? I haven't been stuck here for 2 years because we're being besieged by fluffy kittens, you know. Those brain-feasting freaks out there keep on... How am I enjoying it? Are you spoiling for a fight, Hunter? Are you? Cyseal stinks of fish, reeks of orcs, and on a good day, the wind... We are the pride of Rivellon, to be found and to be seen everywhere. We don't hide in the dark and lurk in corners like some I could mention. No, I'd say they're looking for weak spots in our defences. They can't make an attack over land for fear of Ahu's magical machine. Yes, and he also spends most of his time in the guise of a cat, licking...
Sorry, sir.
Those boots are in barrels of brick folk.
Source Hunter. A sight for sore eyes, if ever there was one. I know you're probably knee-deep in that awful murder investigation, but truth be told, the Legion could use your help as well. We've been conducting a series of expeditions into undead territory. Lieutenant Selenia, at your service. I'm Captain Aureus' Now, I certainly don't mind a bit of healthy competition, and even rivalry. And that is exactly what your presence in Cyseal is, Source Hunter. The undead. I pitied them at first. Many among them were once kind and innocent civilians of Cyseal. The bravest among my men and women tell me they are weaker in the west and stronger in the east, so I shall be very glad to share what information I can give you. It's very sweet of you that you are trying to get these men a job, but I'm afraid they're not. Sure, they can tie a knot and blow a whistle like the best of them, but even with a sword in their hands, they wouldn't stand a chance against the undead. And if ever we want to be victorious in Cyseal, we have to track down 3 landmarks we're chosen for further investigation. The lighthouse. There's a lighthouse to the west, up on the bluffs, overlooking the sea. No man has gone there in a decade, and yet a light shines from its pinnacle. The locals say it's haunted, and half a dozen legionnaires have gone to find out whether or not. There are ancient burial grounds to be found north of the city. As good a place as any to start looking for necromancers, wouldn't you say? A local archaeologist offered to tag along with the men. Here's hoping his knowledge. There's a church to the northeast of here, built atop the very place where once stood a temple dedicated to the source. All superstitious mumbo-jumbo, if you ask me. But when the dead rose, that is when... So I did. The Pact of Volunteers. Many legionnaires will do whatever it takes to go... The chances of survival during these sorties are only about 1 in 10, you see. So my...
Well, hello there.
Warm as dragon's breath.
To leave the city is to venture into danger. Be careful, Source Hunter.
Oh, how nice it is of you. The very picture of youth. To break the monotony. Pray, let me be for. I am but an aged elf that has seen the years parade in long succession. You would listen to my grievances. Guide hot spiced wine and a snug little room awaits us on...
If only the popular girls from the Source Academy could see how edgy and dangerous you've become.
So, what's the bad news? More orcs rampaging through the docks? Or have they... This here's my family business. Yes, there's been a Roberts escorting stiffs into the next life since the foundation of Cyseal itself. Sad story, that. Though if I'm speaking plainly, the sentimental aspect of it all doesn't make much of an impression on an undertaker. Especially not these days. I just concern myself with giving the remains a respectable exit from life. We set him to rest in the northern grave. What about it? Didn't I just say we gave it a respectable send-off? Why are you giving me the 3rd degree? Now...
Nervous as a squirrel. I'm certain he's hiding something.
Have you ever had the fortune of challenging the fabled wizard of Hunter's Edge? So you're just hanging around again, are you? Waiting for what?
Looks like that dog is awfully agitated.
Perhaps he wants to tell us something.
Hey, wow! I was wondering where that awesome sweaty boot smell was coming from. And here you are. Wow! This is great! I'm Murphy, Jake's dog. Wow, you smell great! Have you been rolling around on dead things all day? That's my favourite hobby too. You know who I miss? Jake. Sometimes he'd just sit there being awesome. And I'd give him this look like, you smell great. And he'd give me this look like, you do too, Murphy. And he was my best friend. I came here so I could smell Jake again. He smelled great. But whatever's buried there doesn't smell like Jake at all. No, it's definitely not Jake. He was awesome. If I ever find out who killed Jake, the most awesome Jake who ever jaked, I'll bark so much. Seriously, so much. You have no idea. I smell rotten lamb chops.
Rest in peace, darling.
What trickery is this? That's not Jake.
It's a rotting sheep's corpse. It seems someone snatched Jake's body.
I smell rotten lamb chops. Wow, that dead sheep smells pretty great. I mean, wow. But it's nothing compared to Jake. Seems like some mutt is marking my territory. Join you? No way. I mean, you smell pretty great. Even better than the dumpster behind the butcher's house. The town is full of scary stuff like body snatchers and bathtubs. Without my best friend, the most awesome Jake ever, here to protect me, I'd rather stay far away. Just bring those smelly items to me here. Someone stole Jake? Jake stole my ball once, but then he threw it far, and I went and I got it. And Jake was awesome. Listen, if you go around town and find someone who you think might have done it, bring me a really stinky something of theirs. And I'll see if I can smell Jake on it. An awesome smell. I couldn't mistake it. Esmeralda? Ugh, terrible smell. Like flowers and soap. Not awesome. Ugh, hated her. Aureus is kind of awesome. Evelyn, too. They both have a sweaty, dead thingy smell. Cecil, he's all right, I guess. Mostly, he smells like old books, which is not. Jake has the best smell. I'd know it any. If I ever find out who killed Jake.
So, what's the bad news? More orc? Sad story, that. Though if I'm speaking plainly, the sentimental aspect of it all doesn't make much of an impression on an undertaker. I just concern myself with giving the remains a respectable... A sheep? That's a whole heap of nonsense. Come now, there's no need for all that then. I'll tell you the story as best I know it. I buried that blasted sheep, but I swear on my lucky left foot I had nothing to do with that body disappearing. 1 minute it was on my slab, you see. I left the room for just a moment to answer the bell in the front parlour, and when I returned, the body was simply gone. In its place was a sack containing more gold coins than I could even count. The message was clear. My business has been declining right alongside the rest of our blighted city. And that sack of gold was worth more than I made during one of the good years. I knew I had to bury something or risk being found out. So that night, I stole into the market and made off with Bertia's fattest sheep. It was a bloody waste to stick so much fine meat into the ground to rot, but it had to be done. The next day, the pallbearers retrieved Jake's coffin, sealed to hide the body's terrible wounds. None the wiser now. You can imagine I've spent more than my share of restless nights, wondering who could have wanted that cadaver, and for what purpose. Plenty of us shopkeepers entrust the mayor with the spare keys to our businesses, you know. He could have used it to sidle in without a peep, if he were so Aureus himself paid me a visit the night the body was delivered. Came rapping at my door in the frosty morning, before the sun had even started peeping, and told me to tell him, and only him. Can't see why he'd bothered to go through all that trouble. I know it sounds strange, suspecting the doctor's apprentice of something so ghoulish as this, but there's few in this city could manage to transport a... It was she who delivered Jake's body from the inn to the mortuary. Seemed she could barely contain her thoughts, that there was something thrilling about to happen. And this may or may not have anything to do with the whole rigmarole. But her master, Dr. Theleron, bought an old shack of mine, one overtaken by her. I never saw a widow less distraught at the death of her husband. It was she who rang my bell just before the body was snatched. Lured me outside, claiming she needed air. This here's my family business. Yes, there's been a Roberts escorting stiffs into the next life. That gold's the only good thing to come out of this blasted affair. And I certainly plan on making some use of it. There's no need for all that. Take the gold then, and we'll call the rest even, okay?
A good day to you. Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
What's taking Tenderfoot so long?
You there! No, scratch that. It is Mendius at your service. They call the undead a problem, Oh, it's not merely...
Oh, my good man. Watch the undead quiver in their moldy boots.
Do I seem like the sort who concerns myself with such things?
You'll be concerned enough when you realize that reward...
I'm here to do my duty, which is hardly the same as adventuring.
So you mean to say we do not live a life of adventure? We don't do anything else?
Clearly too strong personality. Too bad your line of work comes with such measly...
Well, I can't say that I haven't.
And I can't say that I have. I'm content with...
Well, don't quarrel about... Even so, my friend, matters of a pecuniary nature aside, what is life without variety? Without spice?
The excuse is more hope.
It's better to lead than to follow.
I disagree. I, for one, am content with my state.
You disagree with one another. But that proves you are firm-willed. That you have the minds of independence, not dependence. Admit. And that is exactly... the fabulous five. How I enjoy simply saying the words that describe the most illustrious and celebrated adventurers' guild in Riverlon. Our mission, to better the world. Our mantra, to better... You'd like nothing more than to enlist, wouldn't you? Of course you would. What a gem of a question. Straight as an arrow. Sharp as a... Now then, to join the Fabulous Five is to join a fellowship, to join a fraternity, a sorority, a community. The title of course, should you spread the word, should you propagate the gospel of the Fabulous Five, and by now the genial glow of the fellowship must have warmed your heart. It has, hasn't it? But did I say fellowship? I mean family. Work hard. Fulfill contracts. Enlist new nuts. Of course.
Any takers? Come on, you chickens.
Join a guild. Better the world. Earn a lot of gold.
You'd fall for this foolish scheme.
We must think of our own futures. The Order of Source Hunters will not provide for us forever.
Are you telling me that this is not the most double-faced guy you ever met?
Cheese? The excuse is more holes than a slice of this fine Corbin bear.
Oh, you think you can speak that way to us? Well, if I have to say it, I've got my...
Pay the big cheese on your block with a wheel of the good stuff.
Let us see if you can choose the finest greens. Get it while it's fresh. These batches only hours to
Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Pay the a big cheese
No,
on your...
no. We'll do as I say, and there's an end to it.
Marvellous. Magnificent. Oh, but what am I saying? Fabulous is the word. You may not realize it yet, but your fortunes, your very life is about to change for the... What more is there to say, my friend? You are one of us now. A proud member... Oh, it's a pretty straightforward task, this one. Now, in this town dwells a wizard. Ahu is his name, and he's a frightful eccentric. Scientific type, you know the kind. One of them was a big lumbering apparatus. A frightful automaton shaped like a giant made of steel. It was supposed... But you can guess what happened. Did it become sentient? Was it cursed? Whatever the cause, the thing relieved itself of its pilot and headed north towards a network of caves. Now ask yourself, what if it comes back? It could... Luckily, there are those in this world who belong to the Fabulous Five. The braves who eat such monstrosities for... You found new recruits already? Efficient. Proactive. Oh, I like that. Send them to me and I'll sign them up. And of course, since...
So you're just hanging around the inn, are you? Waiting for what, exactly?
Oh, thank you to leave me be, you old rat.
Tell me.
Oh,
Alistair,
you think you can speak
have
that
you
way?
ever had the fortune of
Well,
You
challenging...
say you will take me under your wing. And so the lonely babe was fed upon the wild mother's milk, and cast aside the wise godwolf Amira, raised the child Threes among her litter. So you see, I have... In truth, this is a relief. Your world is made with rule. Fine, my friend, but I will stay far away from this screech woman. Perhaps among the crowd at the...
Back, demon! Back, or I'll... Well, what's this? Oh, Medora, you lummox. 1,000 pardons, comrade. This old bear... I'll tell you, it sure does me good to set eyes on another of our order. You wouldn't. I trained up in Academy North, after all. We don't cross paths with you Westers all that often, but it's always a pleasure when we do. Medora's the name. Retired, or so the order keeps trying to tell me, but heavens hornets! That's quite a story, comrade. And come to think, see, I'm here on, well, let's call it a loan from a town to the north of here. There's been an attack there, comrade. Orcs. What they want in Hunter's Edge, I can't say, but it's my responsibility to send them packing. I came south seeking the Legion's help, only to find it tied here in Cyseal. By the skin of my teeth, comrade. The savages were rounding up villagers when one of them activated a tripwire on our village wizard's property. Fortunately for me, I managed to wrench free of my captor's grip and flee toward the Well, comrade, I hadn't thought of it till you tapped my shoulder just now. I need a contingent I can trust if I'm to take back the town. I've been scouting Cyseal for some time now, and I believe I've sussed out sufficient... Well, you know the old expression. 2's a tea party, 3's an invasion. I know this place like the back of my hand by now.
A fantastic plan. With 3...
Another source hunter on the team.
That's the spirit. Listen...
Have you ever had the fortune of challenging the fabled wizard of Hunter's Edge?
Fortune? Ha! He should be so lucky as to be defeated by Alistair the Great.
They say he's privy to ancient and arcane secrets, the likes of which I doubt you could even fathom, old friend. Come now, Alistair. Surely you've met your match once or twice.
Ha! The closest I've...
Rawr! That is, how can I help you, my friend? May the hunt continue!
Saffrons, I dare say.
heard any good tales, my friend? Fine, my friend?
Whatever happened to that troop of eager imbeciles we sent to the northern cave?
Do I seem like the sort who concerns myself with such things?
You'll be Sorry, I've run out of signed handkerchiefs. And Alice, what do you mean, not familiar? You expect me to believe? Why? I'm only the most famous wizard this side of the... And don't forget, I'm the most eminent member of the fabulous... Well, you're far from my caliber, but who isn't? It's good you're eager, but let me give you a word of warning. Aim for my spots, and your career... you'll be dealing with Ahu's little abomination, will you? If I don't leave a few crumbs for the newbies once in a while, they'll accuse those nasty beasts are hardly worth my time. Though I
What have we here? A source hunter, is it? Well, my day, tall as an elf, strong as an orc, but your face, and my word, what passion burns from your eyes. Please forgive my being forward, but I dare say I am Anna. Jewel in the crown, I've cut 1,000 throats, and baked 1,000 bread rolls. When the day comes that I die, the gods will evacuate the heavens to make space. I contain multitudes, you see, and I am utterly replete. But then, Source Hunter, you wandered into this. That I have. For nearly a lifetime, it seems. Well, I'm sure you must know what I mean. Like existence itself lacked a significant component, I believe I have found that component, that body, that spirit within you, Source Hunter. Come, yes, you must join the Fabulous Five right away, as soon as time permits. Together as a team. So you've joined up. You've sworn to share. I can finally offer you our finest... Well, you must be thrilled to find yourself a member of a team. Oh, darling, that was so long ago now. Who can remember who said what after all this time? Well, you are a member of the eminent Fabulous Five. I hear you've been tasked with taking out that crazed robot in the northern cave. I'm sure you'd like to equip yourself with the finest possible accoutrement, wouldn't you? Come, I have everything you need.
Really now, I can't afford to indulge in chit-chat with my legion of followers. Even a star needs a few moments to
Watch out! I smell... the fierce stench of frightened source goblin.
Actually, I think that's only roast pig.
Ah, yes. Yes, of course. This time.
An excuse is more holes than a slice of this fine Gorman bear.
What? Oh, it's you. Come closer, then. No, all my clothes are in fine condition, thanks. I've been going to the same tailor for years. Oh, yes, the Fabulous Five. Aren't they simply fantastic? That machine Ahu built is an abomination. It must be stopped at all costs. I bet the wizard himself could provide some advice regarding how to... Jake? Murdered, you say? Oh, yes, of course. Now I remember. Well, I'm sure that depends. What kind of the library. Yes, you must have a visit. Please yourself. What? Oh, you mean Cyseal. Very difficult times indeed. The undead have overrun all but one northern trade route, that's not to mention that at the top of this whole caboodle, there's rumors of some new religious sect or cult or some such, sticking its tendrils into the innocent, seven-fearing folks of... And, while we're on the subject of troubles, I myself have a private matter I'd like to bring... What now? You mean the staff of Pergamon? Yes. I was... Cecil proved an old fool, though. For the merchant slated to his name is Conrad, captain of the Tide Splitter, a merchant ship still docked at the Cyseal harbor. The staff itself contains a shard of an ore, highly valued for its use in the weapons of war. I do believe that's something your parents ought to have discussed with you long ago, Source Hunter. But I suppose if you really do... you see, when a lady and a fellow find each other rather... Oh, this is nonsense. I'm the mayor for the 7th sake. I can't be bothered to chat all day about the birds and the bees when Cyseal... Jake! Most of the townsfolk are certain Jake's wife Esmeralda. As you can imagine, I've no... an all-right bloke, apart from all this Esmeralda nonsense. The whole town knows the only goal of his business trips to Cyseal... What? The undead? Yes, for the past 2 years, those blasted skeletons have all but suffocated this city. With all but that depends. What kind of... marvelous!
I knew that dark-dealing old man dabbled in source. To the gallows, I say.
If only the popular girls from the Source Academy could see how edgy and dangerous you've become.
Oh, golly gosh! One who flaunts the highways and byways of silly old Cyseal with the easy elegance of a puss with her tail in the air. I do declare such a sight is rather rare, but where are my manners? I am Maxine, and you must be one of those hunters one hears so much about. I'm the mayor's cat, don't you know? Born and raised on velvets and viands of most exquisite varieties. Maxine rhymes with queen, after all, and dearest. But of course, darling. Heavens forbid. No, fear is rather too strong a term there, hunter dearest. The predator's Oh, this quaint little town is a tad too parochial for one of my more urbane...
What? Oh, yes. My Victoria has every volume you could possibly imagine, and she's got every speck of information about this place packed into her brilliant brain. Yes, Victoria's come a long way from that little bundle of claws and teeth I adopted so long ago. What? Oh, yes. I'll be on my way back downstairs.
Ugh, what nonsense. The pseudo-monarch omnes autem mali daemone. What? By Naga the Protector, they have the manners of boors, these Oh, but perhaps I spoke to a source hunter. That is what. Why? Simply because you hunt source, and I, Jehan, hunt Now, I hate what I hunt, but I respect its... This is a sentiment I'm quite certain you must recognize. On one condition. That on our joint travels we will never
Very well. There will be...
Agreed. Nothing...
Most gratifying. I see you are firm of purpose, and thereby ready to descend.
A volume of poetry among novels? Oh, rack! What mayhem! Place this book here. A volume of poetry among novels? Oh, rack! What mayhem! The knight in see-through armor? Princess Buttercup with the blushing bottom? Stecken! Esmeralda does have a propensity for all things naughty, hasn't she? In the name of Amun-Hor, I bid thee Tujda Geta Hal. I am Victoria, daughter of Mayor Cyseal. Oh, I know what you're thinking. The likeness isn't exactly... When I was very young, you see, I must have been cast out by my tribe. The fisherman who found me would have drowned me on the spot, for I am an orc, after all. But praise be Amun-Hor, dear Cyseal, he raised me like I was his own. This kindest of souls taught me the... Indeed you may. The wisdom I here hoard is yours to peruse and even take with you. Tujda Geta, friend.
I've got my eyes on the prize.
Kaj'Dinor. The brief history of sorcery still hasn't been returned. Celeron will have to pay yet another fine.
If only the popular girls from the Source Academy could see how edgy and dangerous you've become.
Kaj'Dinor. The brief history of sorcery still hasn't been returned. Celeron will have to pay yet another fine.
What's that gleam?
Who placed this book here? A volume of poetry among novels? Urak! What mayhem!
Say the big cheese on your block for the wheel of the good stuff.
Any takers? Come on, you chickens.
Lay the big cheese on your block for the wheel of the good stuff.
Looks like the mortician is rather suspicious about Jake.
What could Mayor Cecil, Captain Aureus, or Evelyn have to do with it?
Then a slice of this fine Corbin Aaron has as many friends as the man with many cheeses.
Toe of snake, wing of worm, brew and spice 'em, stir and churn.
Lay the big cheese on your block for the wheel of the good stuff.
Toe of snake, wing of worm, brew and spice 'em, stir and churn.
Let us see if you can choose the finest greens.
Deserving of life. Come, make your case.
But if one were to reduce the quantity of... Oh, a source hunter. Imagine that. Quite a bit bad. No matter. Even if it couldn't spare its heartiest specimen. Me? Why, it was I who cured the Duchess of Arata. Not to mention that it's been my guidance. Yes. If that... She's in the other room as we speak. Perhaps she's gotten hold of a stone, supposedly capable of but she claims to have gotten the relic from a little northern town. Utter rubbish, I say. But sorry, but there isn't much work for sailors in a house of medicine. Unless one of them happens to have a secret stash of... Certainly, what would you like? The counsellor. Terrible loss, that. From what I can tell, I've applied myself to that I declare it an act of the all... Well, she's certainly I expect she'll be a...
This healing stone? Interesting
So,
indeed.
which of you is more deserving
Nothing
of
sets
life?
me on edge like
Come.
That relic of Evelyn's the so-called healing crystal. I've seen one like it before, and by the Patriarch's pockets. It's a relic of Source. One look at that gem will be enough to convince me it's no force of good, but a bloodstone through and through.
Anybody? Neither of you cares to plead for his very existence.
Soothing a corpse's troubled mind. Can't have gone far.
Anybody? neither of you cares to plead for his very existence.
I've come across such a stone before. It may be capable of healing, as the good doctor describes, but it's our bloodstone. It's so named for a reason, you see. What starts as a pretty gem is corrupted by... If that stone is what I suspect, I wouldn't trust Cyseal's so-called healers any more than I'd trust a pyromancer.
So, which of you is more deserving of life? Come, make your case. Anybody? Neither of you cares to plead for his very existence?
Tone, soothing the corpses.
Those dark-robed nuts really ruffle my feathers, sneaking around here at all hours of the night.
Excuse me? This is a private sick room. Who in the name of the Seven do you think you are barging in here? Out, I say, right this instant. I'm sorry. It's this task. I'm just... Who am I? I'm an apprentice of the healing arts. Healing. But this decision feels like precisely the opposite. I have but one healing stone, you see, and 2 direly wounded men. I've been racking my brain trying to decide on the best method to settle this grave situation. But perhaps it's better off in the hands of an esteemed source hunter. What would you like to know? One of the brave few willing to traverse the trade routes plagued by the undead. A young man, but excellent in matters of business, before he fell victim to an... Thankfully for him, a cattle trader found him, quite the venerable staple of Cyseal, Stephen, and recently blessed with his 3rd grandchild. Nearly everyone in Cyseal is familiar with grinning Stephen. Yes, a curious relic indeed. I got it from a kindly abbot, Loic by name. I myself was nothing if not sceptical of his claims, but something happened as he handed me the stone. A small cut on my finger, but it's strange. The stone is only good for... Is that so? Well, I handled the corpse myself, indeed, but I hardly knew the man in life. I arrived at the inn, where the body lay just where it had fallen. The injuries were like nothing I'd ever seen. A single intricate laceration wove like lace around every inch of his skin. I personally delivered the corpse the short distance to the mortician's house. As far as I know, everything was as far as a magical murder. You are? I thank you 1,000,000 times for your...
Stephen should receive the stone.
Boris has an entire life ahead of him.
If you'd like to kill Stephen, perhaps...
Stephen's an old man. He has lived a long, full life. Boris should have that same chance.
Will do as I say.
Stephen, it is? Yes, I'll deliver the... No,
Seven.
this is highly abnormal. What is this?
Maybe
It's
now
like-
there's something new.
What happened? Is this a dream?
I don't think so. That stone. Somehow it sends us flying into the stars.